Hi kids! I know it's impossible for you to multiply a 3-digit number by 3-digit number mentally. But no, you can do it. We have done it in a 2-digit by 2-digit number already. Why can't we multiply a 3-digit number by a 3-digit number? Tara, let's try to do it. There are two versions of the technique that we are going to use. Version 1 and version 2. Multiplying a 3-digit number by a 3-digit number. As our first example, we are going to multiply 121 by 232. To demonstrate the technique, I will be expanding the numbers first. Let me introduce the first version. Version 1 starts from left towards right, meaning we will start with hundreds times hundreds. Kapag nag-multiply ka ng 3-digit by 3-digit, the expected maximum product is a 6-digit number and a minimum of 5-digit number. Kapag sinabi mong 5-digit number, it could be 20,000. Let's start with step 1. 100 times 200 equals 20,000. Step 2. Let's multiply hundreds and tens. 3 digits by 2 digits. So, total of 5 digits. Pero ang expected, pwedeng 4, pwedeng 5. 100 times 30 equals 3,000. Step 3. Multiply hundreds and tens, gaya ng step 2. Dahil pareho naman ang expected product ng step 2, pwede yung ilump yan. For example, here we have 200 times 20. So expected natin dyan ay 4,000. Kapag nilump mo ang step 2 and step 3, the sum is equal to 7,000 plus the first step, which is 20,000. At this point, the sum is 27,000. Tandaan, for every step, you have to accumulate the result. Let's move on with the fourth step. Step 4. Multiplying tens and tens. Ang minimum product ay hundreds and the maximum product is thousands. Therefore, 20 times 30 is 600. At this point, the accumulated sum is 27,600. Step 5. We are multiplying hundreds and the ones. Minimum expected product is hundreds and the maximum is thousands. In this case, 100 times 2 is equal to 200. At this point, the total sum is equal to 27,800. Step 6. Just like step 5, we are multiplying hundreds and ones, and the expected product is hundreds and a maximum of thousands. You can lump this all. At this point, the total sum is equal to 28,000. Step 7. We are multiplying the tens and the ones. And step 8 also is tens and the ones. We can lump this together. 20 times 2 is 40, plus 30 is 70. And the last step is ones times 1. Therefore, 1 times 2 is equal to 2. At this point, the total sum is equal to 28,072. Tandaan, ang version 1 ay from left to right. Ano tong version 2? Dahil sa tagumpay ng ABCD technique to multiply 2-digit by 2-digit number mentally, binago ko ang itong version na ito upang ma-accommodate ang 3 by 3-digit number. Tara, tingnan natin kung ito ay epektibo. Kapag sanay na kayo, no need to expand the numbers. Gaya ng version 1, we have 9 steps in the whole process. Just like the ABCD technique, it starts with tens times ones. 20 times 2 is 40. Step 2. Multiply the tens and the ones. Pwedeng ilump dun sa step 1. 30 times 1 is 30, and the result of step 1 is 40, therefore it is 70 at this point. Third step is to multiply the ones and the ones. 1 times 2 is 2. Therefore, the accumulated sum is 72 at this point. Step 4. Tens and tens. 20 times 30 is equal to 600. Therefore, at this point, the sum is 672. Dahil pareho na naman ang process ng steps 5 and 6, pwede na nating pagsamahin ito, multiplying the hundreds and the ones. Therefore, 100 times 2 is 200, plus 200 is equal to 400. The sum of steps 5 and 6 is equal to 400. Therefore, at this point, the accumulated sum is 1072. Now, let's proceed with steps 7 and 8. We are multiplying hundreds and tens. Expected product is thousands and a maximum of 10,000. The sum of steps 7 and 8 is equal to 7,000. At this point, the accumulated sum is equal to 8,072. Now let's go on to the last step, step 9. Let's multiply hundreds times hundreds. Minimum product is 5-digit and maximum is 6-digit number. So, 100 times 200 is equal to 20,000. Now, the total accumulated sum is equal to 28,072. O ayan, pumili na kayo ng version kung saan kayo mas comfortable in multiplying 3-digit by 3-digit numbers mentally. Good luck! IVFC makes math easy. Walang kulelat sa math. Walang kulelat sa math. A campaign on numeracy brought to you by I Volunteer for Filipino Children.